Ex-tropical cyclone Alfred continues to linger off the southeast Queensland coast. It is expected to cross the mainland coast in the coming hours and then move westwards and inland, bringing a significant rainfall and flooding risk to much of southeast Queensland and northeast New South Wales through the rest of this weekend. Let's take a look at all the details now, but we'll start with having a look at how the system moved overnight on its approach towards the coast. From yesterday evening, the system was still sitting well to the east of Brisbane as a Category 2 tropical cyclone. Through the later part of yesterday evening, it moved towards those offshore islands, eventually reaching them close to midnight last night. Now, just before it reached those islands, it did weaken back to a Category 1 tropical cyclone. And after crossing through, it started to stall a little bit and take a more north-northwesterly track. Through the early hours of this morning, it continued that track a little ways northward up the coast, and at this point in time, it's still sitting just offshore. In the coming hours, we do expect it to push across the coast, somewhere between Maroochydore and Bribie Island, as a tropical low pressure system or ex-tropical cyclone. Now, just as a reminder to everyone, the category of a tropical cyclone is dependent on its wind strength. It doesn't speak to the rainfall that we're expecting. So this system having weakened back to a tropical low simply means that we are no longer seeing those strong, damaging to destructive wind gusts wrapping around this system. However, the rainfall has been significant over the past overnight period and is expected to continue significant through the rest of today and into tomorrow. Since 9 o'clock yesterday up until 8 o'clock this morning, we did see rainfall totals reaching 278 millimetres at Upper Springbrook in the far southeast of Queensland, up to 134 millimetres at Gold Coast Seaway, and around 50 to 60 millimetres across the Brisbane area. Fairly widespread moderate to heavy falls were seen, pushing all the way down into northeast New South Wales as well. Now, through the rest of the day, after the system makes its coastal crossing, it will likely continue northwest and then inland. We are likely to see heavy rainfall continuing through much of southeast Queensland and parts of northeast New South Wales through that period. Now, because the system had shifted slightly to the north, we're now expecting the heaviest falls today, likely around the Gold Coast, Brisbane, and to those areas just to the north of Brisbane. We may still see locally heavy to intense rainfall across any of these parts of southeast Queensland and northeast New South Wales, but our focus for today really is through those areas of far southeast Queensland. We have a severe weather warning still current for heavy to locally intense rainfall. The warning does mention the risk of damaging wind gusts as well. They're likely to be fairly localised, tied to heavier showers and thunderstorms that develop within these bands of rainfall. Now, for today, we're likely to see that heavy rain this morning building across the Moreton Bay Islands, the Gold Coast and the Scenic Rim. But through the later part of today into tomorrow, we're likely to see that heavy rain risk extending throughout our warning areas in southeast Queensland and northeast New South Wales. We could see 6-hourly rainfall totals in excess of 100 millimetres, possibly pushing up towards 200 millimetres in some areas where thunderstorms bring particularly heavy falls. As we go across into tomorrow, our 24-hour rainfall totals could push up across above 2 to 250 millimetres through these areas. Now, rainfall of that kind can easily lead to flash flooding. We've already seen a lot of flash flooding across parts of the Gold Coast in the overnight period, and that's likely to continue today as that rain continues to fall. Our rainfall totals between now and 10 o'clock tomorrow morning reflect this same story. We're seeing the highest falls widespread through northeast New South Wales and southeast Queensland, but those top totals, the darkest purple and black colours in our scale here, are focused through parts of far southeast Queensland, around the Gold Coast, Brisbane and areas just to the north of Brisbane as well. Now, as that rain continues to move through our river catchments, our flood catchments, we are seeing significant river rises already occurring. We've got a number of major flood warnings current through southeast Queensland and much of northeast New South Wales as those rivers are pushing up in their levels. Our flood watches are even more extensive and cover much broader parts of southeast Queensland, starting to push inland through northern inland New South Wales as well. That's really flagging the risk that as this system moves westwards and inland, taking that rainfall with it, we're going to see those totals pushing west as well, filling out those catchments away from the coast. It's also worth noting that we do still have a coastal hazards warning for damaging surf and abnormally high tides in place for parts of the southeast Queensland and northeast New South Wales coast. Now, these dangerous coastal conditions are possible through the rest of today, but they will start to become less likely as we go into tomorrow. For the rest of today, we really want you to focus on that rainfall risk. Focus through southeast Queensland, the risk of flash and riverine flooding continuing and building as we go through the weekend. You can find the detailed forecasts and warnings for your area via the Bureau's website and the Bomb Weather app. Stay safe and we'll catch you in the next update.